Hello everyone, and today we are back for another Loomian Legacy Top 5 video, and we're going to be ranking all of the dragons from worst to best. So we're going to be counting the two soft resettable dragons, but we're also going to be counting the fused dragon as well. So with that out of the way, let's head right onto this top 3 list. So number 3 onto this list, and the worst of the dragons, is Arcorot. And honestly, Arcorot isn't a bad Loomian at all. With Burning Rage and Boiling Press, this thing hits like a truck. The fire type offensively is very good offensively. And when you combine Boiling Press to hit water types, this thing hits like a truck. As you can see in this scene, it can actually hit water types quite effectively, like Samarine and Cephalops and Malamurk, which is really good for Arcorot. But the biggest problem with Arcorot is that it suffers from a very bad offensive typing overall. Fire Ancient just isn't the best offensive typing, as a lot of Loomians can wall that. At least with Boiling Press, you can actually hit water type super effectively, which is nice. But other than that, you can't really hit anything else with Arcorot. But something that does help Arcorot is that this is a fire type that has a decently fast speed stat and have good melee defense, as no other fire type has good melee defense besides Glacadilla, which does make Arcorot one of a kind, and since it does have 91 speed and Slumber, can make this thing a reliable melee tank as well. But it is usually used as a fast offensive wall breaker, and this thing does a pretty good job, but it is the worst dragon on this list. Number 2 onto this list is going to be the fused form in Novadi. Now, Novadi is a top 10 potential Loomian. This thing hits like a truck, and it has the best traits from Glacadilla and Arcorot. This thing has the Fire Ice offensive typing while having Ancient coverage, and its ability makes its Ancient type moves do 50% more damage, which is extremely overpowered. And while the Ancient type moves aren't stat boosts, they are still increased by 50% power, which is insane when you combine that with Draco Beam. 130 power Draco Beams with this thing makes this thing hit extremely hard. And that doesn't even mention that this is the best mixed attacking Loomian in all of Loomian Legacy. Has 129 attack on both sides, while also having a speed stat of 101. As this is also the best Loomian to deal with Icicle Traps as well, so that's really good, and its defensive typing is pretty good as well. And its bulk is good. It probably has the worst bulk out of the 3 dragons, but its bulk is decent. The only reason why it isn't number 1 is because of how oppressively dangerous the number 1 Loomian is, but this Loomian has really good coverage, and it has almost no drawback, and that's why it is number 2 on this list. The best dragon in all of Loomian Legacy is Glacadilla. I think everyone knew that Glacadilla was going to be number 1 on this list, but I do want to get Glacadilla's flaw out of the way. It can't hit metal types, which could really hurt Glacadilla later in the game. If they add a metal type that has range defense, that could be very scary. But this thing hits so hard. It has Frost Speed, it has Deep Freeze to hit water types, and it has Draco Beam. Now, its Ancient types attacks actually don't really hit that hard because, again, it's not boosted by Chilling Passion, but its Ice type attacks make this thing one of the hardest wall-breaking Loomians in all of Loomian Legacy. It also has the fastest speed stat out of all the dragons with 111, and its defensive typing is decent. It is quad weak to metal, but overall it does have some good resistances as well. This thing is awesome, and it's definitely the best out of all the Dragon Loomian just because of how oppressively dangerous it is. It can also set up Peace of Mind, it can set up Icicle Traps, and you could run a melee one if you want, but it isn't quite as good as Novadius in that front. This thing is awesome. And it also has amazing range defense, so it can actually soak super effective hits on the range side as well, making this thing even better. And that's why it's number 1 on this list. And here it is, Glacadilla, the best dragon in all of Loomian Legacy. But let's be honest, these are roamers. Of course all of the dragons are going to be very good. I mean, 2 of them even made my top 10 list, and 1 of them was in my top 3. So yeah, it made sense that the dragons are all really good. Hope you guys enjoyed this video, and I will see y'all all later. Bye-bye!